Max loved video games. Every day after school, he would rush to his room, turn on his computer, and dive into the magical world of Pixel Quest. It was a place where he could be a hero, exploring enchanted forests, battling dragons, and collecting golden coins. The game was so vivid, so exciting, that Max often lost track of time. But lately, something felt off. The colors on the screen seemed a little less bright, the adventures a little less thrilling. Max couldn't quite put his finger on it, but he kept playing anyway, hoping the feeling would go away. One afternoon, as Max was about to start another round of Pixel Quest, a soft, chirping sound caught his attention. He turned his head and noticed the window was open. A cool breeze drifted in, carrying the scent of fresh grass and blooming flowers. Max hesitated. He hadn't opened that window in weeks. For a moment, he considered closing it and returning to his game, but something about the breeze felt inviting. He stood up and walked over to the window, peering outside. The world beyond his screen was alive with color and movement. Birds flitted between trees, and the sun cast golden rays across the yard. "Huh," Max muttered. "When did it get so pretty?" Curiosity got the better of Max. He slipped on his sneakers and stepped outside for the first time in what felt like forever. The grass was soft under his feet, and the air was warm. He wandered into the backyard, where his old swing set stood, its chains rusted but still sturdy. Max gave the swing a gentle push, and it creaked as it swayed back and forth. He smiled. It had been years since he had last played on it. The simple joy of swinging felt different from the excitement of his video games. It was quieter, slower, but somehow more real. As Max explored further, he found himself walking down a familiar path to the neighborhood park. He used to go there all the time as a kid, but he hadn't visited in ages. The park was just as he remembered it, lush and peaceful, with a playground, a pond, and plenty of shady spots to sit and relax. Max sat on a bench under a large oak tree and watched the world go by. A squirrel darted across the path, chasing after an acorn. Ducks paddled lazily in the pond, their feathers glistening in the sunlight. Max felt a sense of calm he hadn't experienced in a long time. As Max sat on the bench, he heard the sound of laughter. A group of kids had arrived at the playground, their voices ringing out as they climbed, swung, and slid. Max watched them for a while, a strange feeling stirring in his chest. He remembered when he used to play like that, carefree and full of energy. Back then, the real world had felt just as magical as any video game. When had that changed? When had he started spending all his time in front of a screen? On his way home, Max noticed the old treehouse in his neighbor's yard. It had been his favorite spot when he was younger, a secret hideaway where he could imagine himself as a pirate, a knight, or an explorer. Max climbed the rope ladder and peeked inside. The treehouse was dusty and filled with cobwebs, but it still felt special. He sat down and looked out through the small window, watching the world below. For the first time in a long time, he felt truly present, as if he were part of something bigger than himself. As the sun began to set, Max made his way back home. The sky was a masterpiece of colors, and the air was filled with the sounds of crickets and rustling leaves. He paused for a moment to take it all in, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. The real world, he realized, was just as magical as any video game, if not more so. It was full of beauty, wonder, and endless possibilities. All he had to do was step outside and look around. When Max got home, he sat down at his desk and stared at his computer. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel the urge to turn it on. Instead, he picked up a book he hadn't touched in months and began to read. As he flipped through the pages, he realized that the real world offered adventures of its own, adventures that didn't require a screen or a controller. They were quieter, perhaps, but no less exciting. Over the next few weeks, Max found a new balance. He still played Pixel Quest sometimes, but he also spent more time outside, exploring, reading, and rediscovering the joys of the real world. He marked days on his calendar for hikes, bike rides, and visits to the park. Life felt richer, fuller, and more colorful than ever before. Max realized that both worlds, the digital and the real, had something special to offer. The key was to enjoy them both in moderation. Max sat by his window one morning, a notebook in his lap. He sketched the tree outside, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. A butterfly landed on the windowsill, its wings shimmering in the sunlight. Max smiled. The world beyond the screen was vast and beautiful, and he was just beginning to explore it. He knew there would always be more to discover, more to learn, and more to love. And that, he realized, was the greatest adventure of all.